Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Chemda, we're on some other people's podcasts people can check out.
Yep. I love running my mouth on someone else's podcast.
I'm looking at you on John F. O'Donnell's Take Your Pills Psychopath. It was released after all.
Right? I believe we took a purple pill and then just started yapping. It's a trip into our minds. Like imagine J-Fod and me trying to connect minds, and that is the podcast.
This person writes, "Thank you, Chemda. I needed to hear your words today. I've listened to Keith and the Girl for years. You're such an amazing woman and have inspired me so much. Great podcast. Tears today." She's crying over your appearance.
Ooh, love it. I love when people cry. I'm not even joking. Like it used to scare the shit out of me. Now I love it. I'm like, we broke something. Now let the healing begin.
I did the same kind of thing. I was on Dave Hill's Good Time Happy Hour over the holiday.
And, I saw that live. It's so much fun. Because like Dave Hill and the gang, they have this like really chill, mellow, funny vibe. And you're like, hi, I'm coronavirus, bitch.
Right. Kevin goes, remember, when you do the show, you might have to slow down. I'm like, I don't think I can.
Nope, you can't.
I can't. So download that podcast. I'm in the show title there. So good to be here. Hello, everybody. Hope the New Year's is going okay. I looked at the news. It's really not for anybody, but I hope.
That's the good news. We're all in this together.
BetterHelp. Better, H-E-L-P, is therapy. You might need it. Chemda uses it. She loves it.
I don't know that you can go through 2020 or really any other year, but specifically 2020 added extra to the regular. I don't know how you can go through it without talking to someone. Never worry alone. It's just an unloading of stuff that you might not even know that is in there. Just try it like one session just to purge whatever it is onto someone else who doesn't know your mother, who doesn't know your spouse, who doesn't know your friend, who, will just be on your side, and you just let it out and see what's important. Let someone else see that level of importance, that calmness that they can bring you. Really talk to people. There's a reason why Catholicism is such a big thing. Their confessional is so huge, makes you feel like you're in therapy, but you're not. You need to talk to a professional. Get this. It's so good.
And Chemda has, not to brag, she has health insurance. She found this to be less expensive and far more convenient. And, you finally get a therapist through all the rigmarole in regular life. And then you don't like him, and then what do? What if your hang-up is arguments? You don't want to talk to this therapist at all. With BetterHelp, Chemda said, okay, I don't care for this person. Just click the button. Got a new person that she's in love with.
Yeah, and the thing is, I thought she was a great therapist. It just didn't click with me and her. So I started clicking with this other guy who works in corrections, used to be a cop. I'm like, you're going to help me find out why I vibe so hard with you.
Right. BetterHelp.com, HELP/KATG. Join over 1 million people who took advantage of fixing their mental health. All 50 states, et cetera, et cetera. Special offer for Keith and the Girl listeners, 10% off your first month. BetterHelp.com/KATG. Okay? All right. Today's guest, ladies and gentlemen, let's find out how they're doing. And it's hard. They have to be honest, because it's hard to tell in 2D how somebody's holding up. But here she is. She's my favorite. She's your favorite. She's Jess Wood.
Hey!
Hello,
hey,
happy
Jess.
Birthday.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy healthy. Everybody looks amazing. You guys don't age a fucking day. I don't know.
Oh, this is why we have you on. Thank
babies
you.
are eating.
The filters are working. What can we say?
Don't get filler though. You'll have a mongoloid face after the vaccine. So
wow, there's so much science in what you just said. I don't know.
I thought it was just Hollywood shit.
It could be. You were born right after New Year's, right? And I'm wondering, with your kooky mother, can we call the late great kooky?
Oh, I think that's you're doing her a service.
Okay, I would imagine that she tried to somehow give birth on New Year's Eve or did she try to alter the labor to make it something different?
I wish I had a story like that, but actually I was the one who didn't want to come out. I was 2 weeks late.
Mm.
And I didn't want to come out because I knew what a mess it was. I just knew. I could hear it. I could hear all the fighting and the mishigas. And I was like, you know what, people? I don't need to be out there in all this. I think you're going to make me in charge as well, which is weird because I'm a baby, but I'm in charge now. You know what I mean? So it was a tough gig. And she was in labor for like 2 fucking days or something.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Was she on anything during birth?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what wasn't she on, baby? Come on. Come on, kids.
I think Kenda meant did the doctors give her anything?
No, no. I meant did the friend slide something during visiting hour?
Well, there is a famous photograph, which I can't get my hands on. I don't know where it is, but it's her and she's about to pop. The belly is like up to her chin. She's in one of those red velvet gowns, you know the type, and a giant goblet of red wine just balanced on the belly and eyes half masked just weeded out of her mouth. Hey, I'm having a kid. Far out. Far fucking out. This is my mom's favorite thing to say. Far fucking out. Huh? What is your friend? A gang member, Jesse? Far fucking out. It's like, oh, did you have another friend die of an OD? Far out. Fuck. That's a bummer. That is a bummer. I remember my mom told me it was a bummer when my friend got killed in a drive-by. What a bummer. Wow. You want to go see a psychic about it? Because we could talk to somebody about it. Yeah, she once took me to a lady that she knew so I could say goodbye to a boyfriend who had been gunned down in the street. She's like, you didn't have any closure.
Did you get closure?
No, I got like a lady who was like, imagine him in a bubble. I was like, fuck you, lady. He's a gang member. He doesn't want to be in a bubble, you dick. But I have to say, I love, first of all, excuse me, I love being on the show, and I love that I follow a commercial about mental health. It's, I can't get more on brand than this.
Well, I'll tell you, it was between two today. Am I going to do the one about staying hydrated or the one about mental health? Oh, Jess. Okay, mental health. I see you have water in front of you.
Thank you, because I'm choking on my own saliva.
Jess, go ahead.
Did you used to go with your mom's stuff? Like, up until a certain age, I went with my mom's stuff. This is a weird comparison, but it came to mind as I'm saying that. I had a bat mitzvah dress that I 100% didn't pick, but I didn't come into my own personality. So my mom was like, how about this dress? And I was like, I guess, I don't know. My theme for my bat mitzvah was, I think, girl. And there was like, hair brushes in the centerpieces and combs and like, lipstick. I didn't even wear lipstick. Like I didn't wear makeup. I still didn't even, honestly, I didn't even know how to comb my hair yet because it was just, not, you didn't have like YouTube, like, why is my hair frizzy or why, so, but I went with it until I started getting my own personality. Did you go with it? Like when you went to the psychic, were you respectful of your mother and the psychic, or did you sort of throw it in their face or something?
That's a great question. We'll have to go way back on this one, Chem. Let's go back to the fact that I was raised a vegan and we were on welfare. And my mother would tell me in the grocery store if I would run over with a box of macaroni and cheese, can we get it? Can we get it? And she'd go, that's poison. Well, if you want to die, sure. We'll get it if you want to die, honey. But I don't want you to die. And so I was brainwashed. I've been to therapy. Mental health is important. I've been to therapists that have told me you grew up very much like you were in a cult, where it was us versus them all the time. So honestly, my first dyeing of my hair, my first tattoo, okay, here's a perfect example. Preschool, my first school adventure. I had my skirt over my head and was showing everybody my vagina. And I was like, this is my pussy, because I didn't have underpants. And my mom was like, why? Don't be so uptight about underpants. And then she would come and yell at the teachers like, how dare you shame my daughter about her vagina,
Oh,
And then
she
I
was
was,
the original anti-slut shamer.
well, I don't, and then she was a slut. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, great, good for you. God bless you, lady who fucks all the time. This man who threatens her life with a gun. And I would ask my mom, why? And I was 4 years old and they hooked up. And I knew, I was like, this dude's not good for you. Not just because of the gunplay, but he ate meat. He was a meat eater in our house. Fuck this guy, man. So
Wow. How did she justify that?
they had great sex. Kenda,
Oh, thanks.
when you
Oh,
understand how a man and a woman, I'm like a man that puts a gun to your face and a woman that's like, I guess so. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to go for that. That's going to be my relationship.
and then you're
and
gonna call it gunplay,
call it
which
love.
oh, we can call it
You call
that.
it love.
Mm.
Yeah.
When Jess was on early in the pandemic in March, so about 10 months now, of course, you were talking about how you were cheated on during the quarantine.
Yes.
You had to kick somebody out during the quarantine. Same person? I forget.
Yes. Well, I don't
Okay.
know if I could say I was cheated on because he and I both fucked other. I had a young boy that not young, that sounds horrible. I had a 22-year-old who's now 25 because we
Oh,
dated
did he
for 3
grow?
years.
Oh,
Yeah, he's well, that dick though. Can I
are you
just
one?
say,
Are you two? Are you?
I
How old
don't
did
know
you
that.
just turn?
I'm way older than he is.
Okay.
Like I could have birthed him. That's although I did get pregnant as a teen, I like to say he could have been my child. So, I know in porn that's really in right now, so I like to brag about it.
Right.
But he was a very handsome El Salvadorian Mexican guy that picked me up at the laundromat near my house. And then the guy who I was dating, like more serious, he was fucking people when he was driving for Lyft in the Lyft. So I felt like
Can
it
you
was even.
imagine you fuck a customer and then you get 3 stars?
I know, oh, that would really suck a lot. That would be the worst drive
Now,
ever.
do they get to the destination first?
I didn't ask questions.
You
Well,
didn't
I did.
interview him? There
I
was no
asked
exit
one.
interview?
I asked one question. I was like, "How long was the ride?" And I don't mean the fuck. I mean like, where
Yes.
was she in terms of you picked her up and then? And you know what he said to me? He said one sentence that I'll never forget. He goes, "She had great energy." Okay, that means I'm in Los Angeles in that story.
Right. There's a lot of great energy over there, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. And let me tell you how handsome the homeless are. That was trouble for me. That was trouble. Those are my 2 guys. I was like, God, why do I fuck people who don't have? Well, I feel superior. That's probably one of the reasons. I got an apartment, fuckers. We're all on unemployment here, but I'm the one with the pad. So,
I remember you saying you did have sex with somebody you weren't necessarily bubbled with, but you made him wear a mask, and supposedly you wore one too.
supposedly, Keith, I don't lie to you
Wow.
guys. We had masks and a condom. 2 bits. Mask and a condom, 2 bits. It was a delight. I'll tell you. I miss that human touch.
I'm just picturing it because that's very limited positions where a dick can go into a vagina while being 6 feet apart in a
Good for that guy,
like,
right?
that is acrobatic shit. I like it.
His dick was that of an elephant's trunk. I mean, he had a certain walk. Before I met his dick and I saw his walk, I was like, what an interesting walk this young gentleman has. It was very like
he's swinging something.
well, he had to balance on that third leg in there. It was a third little stump, little pirate leg in there. I mean, yeah. So I couldn't stop fucking him. But then the guy who I was like kind of boyfriend girlfriend with used to call. So they knew each other from sight. They would see one would leave, one would come. No, I never had a double dick day. Although maybe once or twice. I don't know. But you baby wipe. So
that's what you're giving them as a baby wipe?
No,
for her.
I baby wipe. I like irky.
I
And
know,
there's
but
condoms involved. So it's not like,
you have a shower.
It's like a water bowl, there's also a bathroom, but you don't want to get up between appetizer and main course.
Thank you. Keith
Yeah,
understands.
of
It's
course.
very Renaissance living.
Yeah. Now, where do you live now?
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Albuquerque, New Mexico. And why?
I really couldn't
It has
tell
good
you.
energy.
Yeah, it's the energy, man. I my best friend, Baron Vaughn, who you guys know.
Mm-hmm.
He and his wife Rhiannon are from here, outside of Albuquerque, born, and he pitched it to me and said, "Hey, Jess, I know you love the desert, and I think you should go somewhere where they would understand a white person like you." And I said, "What does that mean?" And he said, "Well, because he and I have known one another for so long, we knew each other in New York, we know each other in Los Angeles. So he sees how the cities and their audiences or people respond to me. And he says, I don't like that you're not given as much love as you deserve in these cities that you've lived in and put so much work into. He said, I don't like that you're looked at in your authenticity and your character as if you're doing something wrong. He said, I think Albuquerque would be somewhere where you would be gotten and you would get a community that you want and you would get to do the shows that you would want and you would be celebrated like you should be."
And I
They're
see that
more
you're already wearing their blue jewelry.
I
lot of
have
turquoise.
okay. I
Lot
have
of
to
turquoise.
tell you something strange about this place. There's many things, but I Googled it. I'd never been to Santa or New Mexico. I Googled Albuquerque, and I started crying. And my friend goes,
because it's hard to spell, right? And you're not gonna.
"Yes, Clairblay." No, I knew it from Bugs
Albuquerque.
Bunny. I only know from Bugs Bunny. That's all I know. And I feel very close to Bugs Bunny. Like he and I, forget it. So I started crying. And my friend said, "Why are you crying?" And I said, "Because Albuquerque looks exactly like the inside of my apartment." I have been manifesting this fucking town for like 30 years. I don't understand what is going on here, but this is the blankie, the jewelry, the fucking, I didn't do any of it. This is all from before.
That's so funny. On Grace and Frankie, and I love comparing to some of my favorite shows. I love that show. And Frankie is sort of like the hippie mom and stuff, and she's about to move to Santa Fe, and she's trying to decide. And Grace goes, "Are you kidding me? Santa Fe is the place that you've been dressing for all your life." And
That's
it was
exactly
just
it. Oh my God. No, that's exactly it. And then I get here and I have to just tell you.
I'm sorry. What did you just put on? An actual fox?
I have a wrap. I have a little wrap. It gets chilly here. It's the desert, but we're over 5,000 feet up, so it's like it's fucking chilly. And
Okay.
when I came, okay, so I cried at the picture. Then I was like, I'm booking a train ticket. I'm going to Albuquerque. I'm doing 2 nights in an Airbnb. Fuck it. I don't know what it looks like. Now I'm crying because of the way it looks to me, but I got to see how it feels. So I go and I stay at an Airbnb, and everywhere I go, from everything, the names of women are a lot. Women and tribes make up most of the names of the streets and the townships and the thing. All women of color in the government here. We have a Latina governor. She's like, put on your fucking mask or someone's gonna get smacked. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's so intense. There's 23 active reservations in the fucking city. Like there's pueblos. So what that means, every man that walks by me, okay. It was a little severe. I was like, how are they all so handsome? I'm very in love with an animated man called John Redcorn from King of the Hill.
Okay.
He's indigenous.
I didn't know we meant literally animated. Sorry.
No, he's an animated man, and he's indigenous. And every time they show him in the show, there's a flute that hula hoo, and like his hair kind of moves a bit. It's beautiful. Anyway, so these men here, nobody's trying to be on fucking TikTok or goddamn, are you following me on Instagram or bleh. All the buns that the men wear here are neat. They're neat. They're neatly combed and brushed and like taken care of. I don't even know how to tell you. There's a lowrider cruise every Sunday night. I've already like had 7,000 orgasms just thinking of like, I can't wait until I'm fucking a lot of men here. Okay, so I am very excited to be here.
Now, why are you not taking advantage? It sounds like you're not taking advantage of the energy right now.
Yeah.
But you did have mask sex in LA. Why not yet?
they're very respectful here. This is not like a hey lady, you want to fuck without a mask city. This is like you walk down the street here and you pass houses and almost every lawn has one of those signs outside that says science is real,
Mm.
LGBTQ, love, fucking all this shit, Black lives matter. Like I'm like, this is what? This is my spot. And so then I just decided to move, and then I moved, and then I have been. I don't mean to brag, but I have been offered, Keith, a couple of,
Mhm.
one from a man who both, three men in my building, my new building here. One man in a wheelchair who's very, very, very sexy to me, all tattooed and the long hair,
Mhm.
native man. But you can't fuck somebody where you live. You guys, you can't, you know?
Oh, you really are up there in age, huh? Good for
Yeah,
you.
no, I don't want
Guys,
to
I'm
be
gonna
drunk.
break this down. I'm gonna break this down for you.
I don't want to. I don't want to fuck
Shouldn't.
everything up. I see them. You know what I mean? And
That's
I'm like,
all.
oh hey, okay. So the first week I'm here, uh, there's I exchanged numbers with the wheelchair guy, and I tell him, hey, I'll help you. He has a dog. He has a puppy. I'm like, there's a dog park down the street. I'll help you with the dog. Let's go for a walk with the dog. Yeah. And I'm thinking I'm so friendly. I'm so whatever. And I'm not thinking getting it in. And the guy's in a wheelchair too. So I'm like, nah, this is totally fine. Okay. Within 3 nights, there's a shooting downstairs. I mean,
Oh, and then you felt like home.
well, then I go, oh, and I mean, like outside of my apartment is a blah 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 blah. Like, did you like how I turned it to the side? I'm very gangster. But this young guy, he's shooting out the courtyard because he's in fear of his life. He says, Now, the wheelchair guy calls me and he goes, hey, are you okay? I just heard the shooting. And I said, yeah, I'm okay. Are you okay? And he goes, no, not really. I had to jump out of my chair. I was shot. That's why I'm in this chair.
Okay.
And I just held my chest and said, Jessica, try not to fall for this man. He lives in your building.
That was the romance.
It's
Okay.
a very big deal to me that you were shot. Okay,
Oh,
I
I
was
see.
shot. We could share and
Does he still have his bullet in him like you do?
no.
No. Okay. Well, that's where you can compare, and you have to have some differences.
He did
Also,
ask me if I wanted to cuddle. I was like,
When was the shooting again that you were shot?
first week. When I was shot, 90. I think it was 1990.
And it was gang activity, right?
Yeah. I was in a drive-by.
Yeah, drive-by. Nice. Were you outside or inside?
Outside, Sunset and Western, where the new
she was
Target
just
is.
walking.
Yeah, I was
With-
walking, but I was walking with gentlemen who were of the gang nature. Now, I knew that they weren't shooting for me because, as I said before, I was wearing a velvet skirt. So what gang is velvet? Like that's not a thing.
Are you trying to start one?
I mean, I might here in Burke. Yeah. So as soon as I moved in, now I'm like exchanging food with the neighbors. I went and smoked with them earlier. We're on the land. We all have these outdoor spaces, so they all look it's like a Melrose Place, but in New Mexico. And
That's
almost
nice.
everyone from here, yeah, it's really nice. And
So
almost everyone from here is from here.
The guy who was shooting, how do you know that he said he was shooting for his life?
Oh, because the cops came and he didn't let them in his apartment, and so they were all talking like right outside my my window, and the Albuquerque cops are like, "Hey, you can't be shooting. You're scaring your neighbors." And I'm like, "Is that the cops? That's the cops. Sounds like a tribe leader. You know what I mean? Like they come here like, hey, bro, it's not okay. You got to put the guns away." And then another neighbor came out after they were all done with that kid, and they're like, officer, what should we do if he shoots again? Like, because it's guns, they're okay here, kind of thing. Like they're not.
What was he shooting at?
A man that he thought was outside the gates.
Excuse me?
Yeah, but
and it's not. And there, it's not even medical guns, right? You can use them for recreation.
That's exactly right, Keith.
Yeah.
So they have the signs outside of almost every shop, and it says, "Please don't bring your firearm inside."
I'm sorry. I don't mean to harp, But he's shooting out of his window because there's a man outside the gate?
He went out so we can all leave our little doors and have our
Like a
little outdoor
sniper?
space. And then he went and like ka 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 and out to the pow, 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 to the street because the street is out that way. And he thought the guy was coming for
And
him.
then the cops say we'd rather you didn't.
Yeah, they were
That's
like,
the end of it.
"Hey, put the thing." And then my other neighbor goes out. He goes, "Oh, what should we do if he shoots again?" And the cops go, "Oh, we think it's more narcotic related."
Okay.
And my neighbor's like, "And so we should feel okay with that." Like that there's like a meth head with an automatic gun down in the courtyard. Like,
Oh, you guys are gonna hook up, right?
I mean, I think he's sexy. No, he was evicted. He was evicted. And I'm
Okay.
not sure. I'm not sure if it was for the shooting, though. I swear to you guys, I don't think it was for the shooting.
Oh my God, we're laughing, but I think he saw an invisible man because he was on something very strong and he shot at least 4 times and everyone's just cool. I'm sorry, but the eviction, you're just like cool as a cucumber about this.
I mean, when I told people in the building, I'm like, "Hey, what was up with that shooting? You guys look cool with that shooting?" And everyone kind of gives a little laugh and a shrug and they go, "So Albuquerque. What? That wasn't on the pamphlet." And when I visited, it didn't feel like a shooty kind of place, you know? I'm from LA, New York. Like, where the fuck? You never would go to even East New York and there'd be a shooting and they'd go, "Oh, it's so East New York." They would not claim that to be their
But you know
thing.
what? Maybe we should know because, like, I was also into Bugs Bunny. I was thinking about getting a Tasmanian devil
Oh,
tattoo.
no, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Oh, because that's how I felt my energy was, and I really liked Bugs Bunny's energy. But I'll tell you what, for a cartoon, there was a lot of people trying to shoot at Bugs Bunny. So it
He
kind of
was a
checks out.
he was sarcastic. He was a
He's
Yeah.
an asshole.
thief. He was a cross dresser to get what he wanted, but not a true transvestite. You know what I mean? Like I could find every area of life, be like, that motherfucker, huh?
He did do a lot of appropriation before that was a
Oh
thing.
hell yeah, he was
Yeah.
out of his goddamn mind.
It really was. He was
Fucking Bugs
rascally.
Bunny.
Are you nervous about I don't know if nervous is the right word, but are you on edge about COVID-19, passing food to your neighbors, etc.? Who gives a fuck, right? You've lived life.
I don't know. It's funny that I love that question, Keith, because it makes you sit with this really heavy human thought of like, I just want to break out of here and live my life to the fullest and fucking who cares? I'm gonna die anyway and I should be fucking and sucking and eating and greeting and whatever the fuck you want. And then there's that other side of you that's like, Jesus Christ, people are dying all around here and I don't want to kill somebody, or I guess I don't want to die yet, even though I know I'm on borrowed time. I don't have a death wish, you know?
Right. So you behave enough, you think, or what?
I wear my mask everywhere. Even my neighbors are, they're like cool with being distanced from me and shit. Like one dude did ask me, "Hey, when this is all over, could we make out?" And without missing a beat, I was like, "Absolutely not." I'm learning how to stand up for myself.
We reported how the Coney Island Polar Bear Club, those morons that run into the ocean at at 20 degrees, New Year's, they said, "Hey, because of COVID, we're not going to do it. We'll be back next year." That didn't stop people from doing it. Hundreds of people still did it. And here's a
But
guy
they
that
don't
made
get
it.
the official sticker.
You don't get the official sticker,
So
but
did
you
it
do
really
get
happen?
a nice tiny dick in front of other people. A lot of things I normally do every year got canceled, this person says. Who put his name in the paper. It's always amazing to me when they put their name in the paper. Chris Geiger. A lot of things I normally do every year got canceled. The Mermaid Parade, baseball, all the shit we normally do that's traditional. I said, I don't care. We're going to do this. It'll be quick. We'll be safe. First of all, I see the pictures. There's no way to be safe. Of course, they want the body heat at the same time. They're all on top of each other. Secondly, good for you. You didn't do 3 other things.
Yeah, and Chris, why is everything shit? Did he really say shit in the paper? Is the
Yeah,
same shit? He's like a real Brooklyn guy. He's like fucking baseball, the Cyclones. I miss my Cyclones. Let's go Cyclones. You know what I mean? Like that's like a thing in Brooklyn.
I'd love that
parade
fucking.
titties.
I'd love the fucking mermaid parade.
I mean, the coconut shells on the titties. It's just like, I wait all year for this.
Bro, it ain't about mermaids.
Nah. I seen two mermaids making out one year. That was the fucking bed at the Oyster Shack. That was fucking it for me.
I totally get this. It's like the math weighs on you. You're just like, I really have been really, really, really good. And then you're supposed to get a prize at the end of it. I and I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm saying I feel that way. I just have to eat it instead, like literally just have a candy bar because you get to. But I get it. I'm thinking like I'm in this closet for at least another year, right? And then I'm starting to do math. I'm like, well, in like 6 months, will it be safe for me to go to campground? And I'm like, no, it's no different. It's all the same disease. So it's difficult to say like, hey, I was really good for this long. But I kind of feel like it's with war. It's like, okay, I hid out, I stayed in the bunker. I did whatever I was supposed to do. Do we get to get out of war now? It's like, not really. I don't know. And there's not even a person who can say, okay, war is over. Not even the leaders can say you can have the vaccine and sort of retreat some of your soldiers, but you're still at war. I don't know, but it's hard. It's hard. It's like you sort of get used to it and you're like, I get that there's gunfire outside, but I'm going to take a walk tonight and hopefully it won't hit me this time. You just get sick of it.
And people are grabbing onto, oh, there's a vaccine then? Okay, I'll go out. Like, that's not how a vaccine works. Your body just doesn't know it's out there. You have to get it.
I get it. And people have to remember how much they didn't want to hang out before this. I mean, how many people post things like, I love when you motherfuckers cancel on me. Here's me drinking wine when somebody cancels on me last minute because I was going to cancel on them too. We have such this social anxiety. And now that it's like we're put on timeout, we're like, no, I'll never cancel again. Please let me hug someone, please.
Well, I have a feeling that there'll be no more, if there's ever an office again, there'll never be another HR. Because come on, how do I look today, Bradley? You know what I mean? Like, let me sit on your desk, Ed. There's not going to be any fucking like, oh, that was inappropriate in the office. No, it's not. I will flip a titty out at the Xerox machine because y'all deserve it. You know what I mean? Like,
Jess, I feel that you continue to express yourself in your way, and that's still going to be unacceptable in the workplace.
Well, the thing that bums me out the most about it, I got to be honest, is that, well, I'm always honest with you guys, but the division that it's set in, even more division. How can we get people, especially poor people who are afraid of getting sick and dying, to be against one another even more? It's unfucking real. And facets of people as well. Like, I have a friend who's in the gay community and he says, oh, have you seen that whole gays against COVID or gays for COVID or we're fighting, infighting? And I'm like, what the fuck, you guys? You almost lost the right to marry last year. And now we're infighting about how deadly this disease is and you shouldn't go to Puerto Vallarta or whatever the fuck.
I mean, it's like that all the time, everywhere. It's like that. We're all on the same side going, I can't believe you took down your mask for 5 seconds. Now I'm considering not being your friend. It's a lot of judgment calls. It's a lot of like, don't release the valve or I'm going to start judging you. Don't go on that vacation or I'm going to tell you killed my grandmother. And I get it. And Keith is going to say, yeah, I believe it and fuck them. But there is a division.
It's worse than ever.
On Keith and the Girl, I would joke that science is dumb. Who needs it? Because it's boring to me in school. And if people took me seriously, they would say how dumb I am. What happened from those silly jokes to some people telling me how dumb I am to 50-50 if science is real? What happened in the meantime? The joke was, of course, science is real.
Because
now here we are. Israel just gave out its millionth vaccination shot.
Wow.
That's the first nation to to hit 10% of its population. Our
L'chaim.
leader's trying to overly turn this election. He's calling the guys in Georgia and going, no, you motherfucker, bad things are going to happen to you if you don't find 11,000 votes for me in Georgia. In fact, your election's coming up, and I'll make sure you don't get elected. This is caught on tape. You can find it easily on the internet right now. An hour long. It's more shocking than what you're hearing on TV. I've heard it. Okay. And people just go, okay. Because another fucking thing. This is treason, and I'm not exaggerating.
But you know what it is, Keith? It's because for the last 4 years, we've had a celebrity in charge of things. And when you have a celebrity in America, you're going to have especially a racist, homophobic, sexist, all the shit that everyone's like, oh, am I not allowed to be that now? Going, yeah, you're totally allowed to do that. We want you to do it and then some. When something like that is in charge, like we've had a fighting parent for 4 years. We've had the equivalent of what I watched my mom get a gun to her face and then get fucked for 4 years. And that's traumatizing.
Oh, God. Children. Did you watch the fucking part too?
Oh, it was all the time. Mm-hmm. And when I talk to my mom about it, I go, you were fucking in front of her. She goes, Jesse, we were high.
What do you expect?
Okay. I guess that's an excuse now. But I do feel like it's it's been such a mess that every time, talk about division, every time someone from some side says something and the other person, it's like, forget it. How are we going to do this? How are we going to get to a place of calm and where people are nice to one another? Because we've never
BetterHelp.com/KATG.
Thank you.
I got a letter, Keith, COVID again. I'm like, apparently, yes.
It's every day, all day. I don't know who thinks it's going to have like a break. Like, isn't it on lunch? Like we could go.
Everybody's dying. Do you remember this cute little story back in 2018, El Paso, Texas? Zeline Blancas, 35. She was a teacher, elementary school teacher, tiny kids. And this video went viral where it's first graders, and they would choose whether it was good morning or goodbye, whatever they said, coming or leaving school. You can give each other hugs. You pointed to what you want on the wall.
I did see it. So they would line up to come into the class, and you're basically deciding as a child, you have autonomy. Do you want a high five? Do you want to wave? Or do you want a hug from your teacher as you come in? And they would decide, and that's how the teacher would decide to say hello. It was really actually very lovely.
Kind.
Right?
Did you get in trouble?
Right. Keith is just bringing it up to make us think of nice things. No big deal. Let's move on.
The teacher died of COVID.
Oh, God.
I guess a lot of people picked the hug.
Those kids killed her. Fucking kids.
Well, even where, hey, do we need a lockdown? We all agree. But somehow the virus knows if it's for education or it's for religion, then it determines how it wants to handle you.
You can go to Target. COVID is not at Target. I've been told that over and over. No Target, no Walmart. You're fine. You're free to fucking shop at our big box stores. Please come and, do everything here now because everything else is closed. I mean, wow.
Did you ever think you'd be, it's the way we're taught how great America is, but did you ever think you'd be jealous of these other countries? In Chile, I like this idea. The president, let's see. The Chilean president, Sebastian Pinera, the president, was slapped with a $3,500 fine after he posted a selfie taken on a beach with a bystander not wearing a mask. Most people, by the way, violations could mean jail. Good.
Wow.
Good.
That's scary.
I don't know who taught you to like America, but I definitely was not taught that at all. I was actually in trouble most of my life at school because I wasn't allowed to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
You weren't allowed?
My mom, again.
Oh, okay.
She was so adamant about shit. The Pledge of Allegiance was equivalent to macaroni and cheese. It's like, it will kill you. Liberty.
Oh my God! Imagine Jess in the class and the teacher's like standing up. She's like, "No, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die if I stand up. I'm gonna die."
Yeah. Oh well, Miss Wood, you decided to go to the principal's office again instead of the. And yes, I did. Yes, because I was told school didn't matter. I was told America was bloody and filled with lies. And
But Jess, we were high.
I know. Well, that was just for the sex part. You know.
Oh, so the education
Everything
part.
else we know. We choose it. Like, no, you
Right.
don't.
You don't want to know what your forefathers did to math.
I mean, I'm from a
You have to learn
poor
something,
Jewish family, so it's not like there's anything wonderful about it. And I grew up in LA thinking that the Jews ran Hollywood, so why didn't my mom have an acting job? She's an actress. She's a Jew. What the fuck, you know? But
There's a lot of messages in your head before you were even 4. That's so much.
Do you find yourself snapping more at things, getting angry more at things? I'll give you an example. I was looking at the newspaper today, and there's this cartoon called Rapunzel, and they show pictures of things, and it spells a word. So I open this up, and I see right here, there's a purse next to a sun. And I go, a person? That's your fucking job? You're done for the day. You put a purse and a sun, and it's person. And this is the Sunday one in color. You did that. That is your job? Fuck you. Fuck you, Rapunzel.
yeah.
Of course you don't have your name on it. I wouldn't either. Be humiliated. Sorry. Hey, kids, I need your help today. Say a word. I don't know. Person. Done. All right. Who wants to go to the park? Well, we can. But anyway, before this, I mean.
Yeah, I get
this
mad.
made me livid.
I get very mad. Speaking of therapy, I tried to get a new therapist when I arrived here in good old New Mexico. And the woman who I called a number, I won't tell you where it was, but I called the number. I left a message. The woman who called me back was also answering the phone. So I was like, that's not okay. What is this, a gas station? It's not a therapist's office. So then she said, oh, I'll send you the information. First, she wanted to charge me more than I was getting charged in LA. And I was like, I can't do that. I'm on the welfare. And she goes, oh, I'll send you. We'll try to work it out. We'll do one session. We'll get to know one another, see if we like each other. It's a good fit. I'll send you the information today. And we schedule for tomorrow at 3 p.m. I was like, all right, cool. We'll do that. Never got the shit sent to me. And then at 3:01, this bitch decides to send me the information. And I'm like, and her name was Jane. And Jane, you ignorant slut. Stop it. You're not a therapist. You're not helping anyone. You're especially not helping yourself by showing that you're a goddamn fucking flake. I mean, what if flakiness was my issue? What if people, standing me up was my issue? And this bitch. And I was like, no, I'm good. Thank you very much. Have a nice, no.
I've had that too, where a therapist was like, I saw him once and I go, well, what now? Do we do this weekly or whatever? And he's like, well, I'm kind of a hot commodity. And I was like, did you just use that terminology with me? And that was the second time in that first session that he used that word about himself. Okay.
Oh, no.
Yes. And then I'm like, okay, just ignore. I just need help, whatever. And that's probably one of my problems. Just ignore. I just need help. And I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? He's like, well, why don't you reach out to me? Either he or I had to reach out on Sunday. I think he did reach out on Sunday. And then we'll see if we have an open thing next week. And I'm like, actually, this works because I have a flexible schedule. And then we can decide every Sunday, like what day works for both of us. It's a little flaky for me, but I am sort of flaky. But this is the thing. I know that I don't want my therapist to be flaky. I know that I want them to be like, no, you show up. You turn your schedule. Anyway, never texted me. Then texted me 2 days after he said he would. And it was almost like, sup, bitch. It wasn't, but it felt like that. It felt like, so, hey, you know what I mean? It felt so casual. I think I ghosted him, and I don't even think you call it ghosting because I don't think he was ever there, So it was such a letdown. And it's like you said, what if, people being flaky on me is my thing? Like, what if I feel alone and now not even my therapist is interested in my recovery? Like, this is so heartening. And I'm like, okay, at least I know I'm well enough to know this is him and not me. But holy shit, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you what just happened on TV here. They go, oh, the Cobra Kai season 3 is out now, and I'm like, great. Now I got to watch season 3, motherfuck. Oh, when does it end? So I'm halfway through this piece of shit.
So you really feel you have to see this?
Yeah, I saw the movies, then I saw the 2 seasons. What am I gonna do? And then those shit like, oh look, it's the bad guy from the second movie, and I go, okay, great, there he is. Next, I don't need him to talk and stuff. Just wave and go, hey, they got me. Hey, I remember you. You grew up weird. Bye. That's what I need. In and out. Don't try to make a fucking story. And then I see somebody on social media wrote to me, oh, I saw it. It was actually better than I thought it'd be. What the fuck did this guy think it'd be? Literal shit on the screen? What the fuck was better than what you thought? I have a disease. What the fuck were you expecting? They kick you in the crotch?
I thought you got over this disease. I thought you were an adult now.
Karate Kid was so good when I was a kid. I was 10 years old. It was life-changing.
They
I
got
took
you.
karate,
They do.
etc.
They listen. I feel the same way about Point Break. How dare they?
Yes.
How dare they fucking remake that shit? And that's
Oh, I
why I'm
ignored
happy.
that.
I'm a big Mel Brooks fan. They'll never remake a Mel Brooks. Could you imagine Blazing Saddles? Well, what the fuck would it be? It would be nothing. It would be farts. It'd be the bean. It'd be the bean scene. That'd be it. Fucking it. Farts. Bullshit.
Wait, I was going to say Overboard, but that's a different person. Anyway, Silent Trailers is February 20th.
Oh, Overboard. I love Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, where they hooked up.
Yes, it's such a rapey movie.
Well, they redid that one too.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like
Mel
It's
Brooks
Cold
is the way to
Outside.
go.
It's Cold Outside. I felt like I didn't hear any. The one thing a great 2020 Christmas gave me was I didn't hear that bullshit PC It's Cold Outside song like in 2019 where they're like, everybody's getting raped. Like, shut the fuck up. Look, I'm a rape victim. Okay, don't everybody calm down. All right, KATG. God damn it. I understand it's not okay to drug a woman, to hurt a woman, to rape a woman. It's not okay. However, I'm from a generation, we'll call it the 80s, where date rape was more of like a prequel to the relationship. So I have a different idea about it a lot of time, and I'm not proud of it. But here's my biggest problem with the whole Me Too, all that stuff. When were women ever going to be told that they were allowed to tell a man, put your fucking dick away and get the fuck out of the way of the door? I'm leaving your room. I've done that before. I've also had the opposite happen to me, where someone is really not letting me leave, and I really get a little bit hurt. Not saying either one. I'm saying the first is better. When a woman is raised, a young girl is raised to believe that she is worth enough to fight somebody and go, hey, fuck you, man. I don't care that you're saying, oh, you're never going to open for me again on the road. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. You know what I'll tell everybody? That you told me I would never open for you on the road again if you had your dick out and I wouldn't suck it. So you can fuck yourself and I'm going to go. You know how much
Jess,
work
you know what this is? You know what this is?
For this. Sorry, what is it?
This is the Me Too movement. You really are talking about the Me Too movement. It's similar to when people say I'm not a feminist, but being a feminist is just that men and women have the same respect out in the world. It doesn't mean that women are more than men or they're qualified when they're not qualified. It just means inequality. The Me Too movement is part of that. I know what you're talking about because we're from the same generation, where I said yes, but it was a yes from, I know I'm beneath you. I know that I could really get in bigger trouble right now if I don't say yes. So you got a yes and you got that consent. And I fully understand that. And I know that like a lot of the Me Too came from waking up to, I was assaulted. I didn't know. I just thought that was the game we were playing because I was taught to play that part of the game, to say no, 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 to have you coerce me. And part of that is part of the game that was for us because they're supposed to convince us is what I was raised with. All of that is part of the Me Too movement. You are still sounding like you're pro the Me Too movement, but you're putting responsibility on the teaching of it. And that is what Me Too is doing. It is saying we need to have a voice enough to say that I can speak out. So when somebody says me too, they're saying, I was in this position. I would like to have a voice next time. That's all. I would like to, if it does happen to me and I didn't have a voice at that moment, that when I have a voice afterwards, that people don't say, what was I wearing? That they don't say, but you went to his hotel room. But they don't say that you said yes after you said no a bunch of times, so he got it. That is all part of the Me Too movement. Everything that you're sharing, our part of it, our part, and how we don't want to feel like victims because we knew out what part we were taught to stay in and to be in and to respond with. That's part of the Me Too movement, is for us to not have to respond like that anymore. That is part of it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I just
So
feel the need for strength.
I get
come
that.
on.
And that is part of it. It's the voice that we have.
Yeah.
So I'm really confused here. I'm taking notes. Is Jess a good person, Kenda?
I don't know. I might be sometimes.
Jess is a wonderful person, and I understand that, like, you put on accents and stuff that people are they have gotten very sensitive about on our show from you and from other people.
Really?
And I know, yes. And I know that, like, when people appropriate, it makes people very uncomfortable. But I know that you're telling your story with, if you were doing a Bugs Bunny voice, and I'm not comparing, ethnicities to Bugs Bunny, but it is, when I speak about my parents, I go into the Israeli voice because this is what I heard. This is part of it. It's part of the experience that you know how to do that accent because that is who you were hanging out with. And
So you're not appropriating your parents, and I'm not. Listen, what I will say about that, and I don't want to sound defensive, but I might come off a little bit. The folks whose voices I do are never the ones. It's always a white person, or usually it is a white person, a woman.
Well, it's
usually.
A lot of the gangbangers, of the Latino gangbangers that you usually do.
I do a lot of Mexican voices. Now that I'm in New Mexico, I do a lot of native, like indigenous stuff voices, because it's like what you said. It's what I hear, and me giving them a platform, not just going like, yeah. And then this guy was like, hey, I like your haircut. But like, this guy rolled up to me and was like, hey, I like your haircut. And it makes it for me. It makes it a deeper cut, because you can then picture, like in the olden days when people did radio plays and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I think.
I don't mind. I don't mind though if people want to call me and talk to me about it, because I came up with Black comics, and this doesn't give me a pass at all. But I will tell you, I came up with Black comics, Mexican comics, and they all were quite supportive of me doing my story, like telling my stories. And Barron even would often comment and say, it's interesting. I know that the shift is different. The oppressed should not be made fun of by the oppressive, right? So, but there's a weird thing that, like, yes, I'm white, but I'm a chick. So which part am I working from to the listener? You know what I mean? Or is it just, hi, I'm a human trying to be as authentic as possible and give each of these characters that I meet wherever they are a full platform for them to live and breathe inside of me. And
as I mock them, right? I mean, it's not that deep.
I don't mock anybody. I tell all the stories. I tell Mom a story. I'm like, she came over, she gave me it's good to have a haircut on the conjunction, like, yeah, fucking planets.
But I don't think Jess is pulling like a Hilaria Baldwin. So to me, that's the difference. Have you heard that story, Kenda?
Oh.
No.
Real quick, Alec Baldwin's wife, and I've heard her in interviews before, has a thick Spanish accent. You can't really tell if she has it together, because, at least what I heard, because the accent is so thick. She's, searching for words. How do you say cucumber? And then she was in I guess who's the comic? Who's that comic with the very clever podcast title, Three Girls, One Keith?
Oh, Amy Schumer.
Yeah. So Amy Schumer was like making fun of Hilaria Baldwin in a bathing suit holding her baby, just really trying to look sexy but acting like you're holding a baby. And so then she came out to say that was body shaming, but forgot her Spanish accent. And now people are started to look into that. And she was never born in Spain. Alec Baldwin's wife. Her name is Hillary, not Hilaria.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Now
Stop!
that's, to me, is when it's weird.
Stop
So,
it! Oh,
did Alec Baldwin know? Is he just go with it? She goes, Hilaria Baldwin said, well, I'm bilingual, so sometimes I have an accent. Kyle is bilingual.
I'm bilingual. No,
Right.
we know what we're saying. Excuse me, but I know. Oh my God. I have to think before I talk in an accent.
Right.
Oh my God. Oh, my head is spinning because I'm like, oh, that's great. Oh, that's awful. Oh, that's great. Oh,
Yeah.
that's awful. Oh,
People
Alec
like,
Baldwin. Oh God.
Yeah. People are like, oh, no, I went to school with her when we were kids. She never had an accent. So it seems like everybody loves the foreign accent, you know?
Oh, I didn't. Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
that's one thing I can be sure of is that the people who all went to school and came up with me all have the same story that I tell. I don't have any, they're not like, oh, she was totally a cheerleader. And on the
Right.
pep squad, Jess was such a debater on the debate team. And I didn't even ever go to prom except for stand outside and yell at people.
What were you yelling at them about?
I guess I was jealous. I was drunk.
Okay.
What do you do when you find out your wife was lying to you about where she's
Her
from and the
ethnicity?
accent? And you're like, look, you're already the daughter of my kids. Let's be honest. You're 30 years younger than me, so I married you because you're hot as hell. Let's just not talk about it.
Oh my God. Wait,
I mean,
so
he's
how
from
long have
Long
they been in
Island.
the relationship?
Enough for 2 kids, at least.
Two
if not
kids.
more.
When
Yeah.
she was in labor, she kept the accent. Oh
Yeah.
my God. During sex, she kept the accent.
How do you say epidermal?
Oh God. Oh, oh God.
She's like,
Gracias.
Alec.
Oh God. She's making dinner. She's giving the accent.
Right? Everything. She's
Oh my
got to
God.
keep it always.
That's a lot. That's exhausting.
Right.
What if you're on the phone with longtime friends? You keep the accent.
You start the accent.
Oh my
You
God.
get Alec to marry you. You're now a millionaire. And then slowly you act like you're taking classes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And you're getting rid of your accent. 3-month process.
Oh my God.
You're a genius at it. But
This
man,
is-
to stick with it for years?
Honestly, this is harder work than Rachel Dolezal. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No
Yes.
offense to anyone,
Heavy
but
commitment.
If it's to anyone
but
at
getting
all.
your hair done and tanning and whatever the fuck she did,
Right.
an accent. Like you said, you can't slip. You get into a car wreck. Oh, motherfucker.
How do
Holy
you
shit.
say we sue them?
Oh my God. Oh my God, you're going swimming. You gotta have an accent. Oh my God.
You're drowning. You can't blow it.
No. Oh my God, I'm getting chills. Did they go around? You couldn't have been around anybody who was around her for longer than however long your kids are old. I don't know.
Right.
You call an old friend. You're like, let me put on my American accent. This guy thinks it's funny when I do that on the phone. So you might hear a different, what the fuck? Your parents? Have I met your parents? Has he met them? They better be dead. Oh, they better be dead. They better be dead. And you're visiting their grave in an accent. Oh!
And you're drowning. You're like, ayuda. Help. Ayuda. I mean,
What
I
about?
just threw my voice.
Oh, you better not talk in your sleep. Oh, but you
Right.
can talk in a different accent because it's like, oh, I was dreaming about being an
Yeah.
American. Oh!
You know what I think she loves the most is karaoke. Karaoke, she can finally be herself.
Right. Everybody sounds American.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Does she speak Spanish?
She speaks Spanish. Yeah.
She says como se dice,
She
but
says,
that's it.
She says. Who the fuck knows?
Does she speak Spanish like the people spoke Russian when we did that
Oh, yeah.
prank show? There were these, so it's called Boiling Points. Do you remember this show, Jess? It's Boiling Points. It was on MTV, and Keith was duping me into going to a restaurant. These 2 girls were going to be hitting on him, and I'm supposed to get mad at it. And they were pretending to be Russian. Now Keith let me in on the secret, so I knew this was going to happen because we didn't like poking with each other like that. I That's not a nice surprise to
How's
me.
that fun?
Yeah, it's not fun at all. So then they're pretending to speak Russian, and I'm like, holy shit, if this was real, right now I'd be like, what fucking language are they speaking? Because they were making it up. And I'm like, oh, am I dumb or are they dumb? What am I supposed to just play dumb here? I'll just throw water in their face and we're done. Okay, bye. Buy me dinner.
Shloosh slashy shlee slash sloosh. I'm like, I think that's 3 and 6 in Hebrew. Shlosh shlooshy shlee slash sloosh.
Did you really throw water at him?
I tried to, but I'm such a puss that I like half got it on them. They were very happy about it because it's like, oh, a dramatic response. But if you look back at the tape, I'm just like, what I wanted to do is like overturn the table, like, the fuck is going on here? And in my head, in the shower that morning, I was like, I'm gonna fuck shit up in that restaurant. I'm gonna get crazy angry. But I just didn't. I didn't want to like. I knew we were the first of their day, so they'd have to reset their outfit and their makeup, and it like was like too much. And I'm like, I would never respond like this. Plus, they weren't giving me reason to respond. They were being pretty mild. Plus, I don't get jealous, and then I don't get jealous like that. Like, oh, so I was just like, here's a little wine or water in your face. I don't know.
By the way,
I'm mad.
When it comes to Hilaria Baldwin, which what a great name, right? It is fucking Hilaria.
It is Hilaria.
I don't know which way I stand because I do know a lot of people that really shouldn't be themselves. They're just really insistent, you know?
Oh my God.
But are you sure they're being authentic?
Right. Here's a little news article, kind of goes with it. A British woman says she made $1.7 million during the coronavirus lockdown thanks to her accent. Olivia Blanco, 32, raked in the big bucks by talking dirty to American men on her OnlyFans account. Many of them like her British accent so much, she's being paid for doing videos of just talking. She says, what can I say? The Yank perverts can't get enough.
I'm for this. See,
Sure.
this is the thing. We don't call it appropriation when it's a British accent.
Or an Irish accent, or Russian accent, or Dutch accent. Like, I can do Russian to the fucking cows come home. And people are like, yes, yes.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, I wax your pesunia. You know, and everyone's like, oh my God, she means pussy. Ah! You know, and then I'm like, but don't come around here with that fucking big old bush, eh? And they're like, oh my God, don't do that.
Right.
Okay.
But that's how that person sounded. Yeah. I don't think we have to put accents everywhere. I don't think we have to do people's accents all the time. But I do think there are appropriate places where, I don't know, when Jess is telling a story, I know that's what they sound like and I appreciate it.
Thanks.
There. That's my
I will
thing.
not stop. I will not stop. I mean, unless I have someone of the race that I'm doing who says to me, hey, fucking stop. I'd be like, of course. Okay, sorry. But that has not happened in my very long fucking reign out here of nothingness, really.
This birthday's starting to get to you. Nick Cannon is a proud dad once again after his girlfriend, Brittany Bell, welcomed their second child together. She's a former Miss Arizona, USA. She revealed the pair's latest arrival on Instagram. The best gift ever we were surprised with, a girl. So it was a human being. That was a good surprise. The girl's name is, ready? Powerful Queen Cannon.
Oh, boy.
Right.
Now let's say, okay. You get, when your parents die, and you never know, but your parents die, you get $10 million because the Cannons, they have money. But your name is, I'm a big douche. And you can't change it or you won't get the money because that's disrespectful. Would you take that deal? I mean, I guess you could try like, my name's Ima, but people will be like, is that short for anything? You know.
That's when I would start to put on an accent. I'm a big douche. I'm a big douche. I'm a big douche. It's my parents. They are like from France or something, and I'm big douche. It means beautiful flower in my how do you say, country?
Holy shit. The last name is already Cannon. You're already firing with the big dogs. Like, you know, it's that's a big weapon. And
right,
so wow, that's, what is it again?
Powerful Queen.
Powerful Queen.
Powerful powerful Queen Cannon. But then what do you do if you have another girl? And Joanne.
It's like, I lived in the shadow of powerful my whole life.
I'm sorry, we used all the good names. Our new kid is called our favorite. Everything was taken. I have this letter here. It's a little self-serving, but it made me feel so good. We got it after the last show that we did from Leanna. She writes, I can hardly put into words how much I love you, Keith and Chenda. Y'all have helped me keep my sanity through some rough years in the past, but 2020 has taken the cake. Sometimes I feel like I'm going crazy because it's like I'm living in a different reality from the general public. That's how I feel. Then I get mad at Ralph Macchio. By the way, he wasn't even good in that one movie.
Keith, no.
My Cousin Vinny. Look at it again.
You should leave Ralph Macchio. Of all things, you can
You're
Cobra
wrong.
Kai your way into oblivion, but do not fuck with Ralph Macchio.
You're being
He
tricked.
was great in My Cousin Vinny.
You're
the
being
whole
tricked.
My Cousin Vinny was phenomenal, and no one can be touched from that film. I apologize. No.
I'd also like to bring in The Outsiders, a little movie with Many a Boy and Ralph Macchio.
I would
was
like
he in
to.
that? Okay.
I want to fight Ralph Macchio for charity, not some asshole move. But I mean, this guy has worse martial arts than Steven Seagal last week. Horrible.
I don't.
And it's offensive. It's offensive to martial arts. It's
Wow.
offensive to acting, and it's offensive to me.
No, I didn't even see this, and I feel offended.
Well, luckily it's on your Netflix too, so I'm sure you'll report real quick. I manage a supported living agency that cares for 10 physically and developmentally disabled individuals. They're absolutely the most vulnerable human beings in my community. We had a COVID outbreak within our agency in October, and we're thankfully able to contain it to one home. I tested positive for COVID-19 in November, as did my 2 small boys. My clients are alive and thriving, as is my family. Your willingness to never back down from calling out the ridiculous behavior from the public that puts the people I love at risk centers me. You and Chenda are performing an incredible service by pushing your audience to educate themselves about prevention measures. Yeah, I'm not even saying take a class. It's like I said on Friday, you know, we're going to be, you listening to this now, you're going to be grandparents and your grandkids are going to be like, what was the deal with all those people dying? Why couldn't you guys just stay home? The information, it just kept changing. Don't stock up a mask. Wear a mask. What were we supposed to do? And now I have to plan instead. Yeah, but why wasn't it just wear a mask and social distance? And then the governor of California was at a party. Yeah, we don't even live in California, but shouldn't you just wear a mask? It just kept at the raw. And then go to school. Don't go to school. We didn't know what to do. You don't have to educate yourself. Wear a mask. Do not be by people. Let's see. Yeah, by believing in science. I didn't know. I believe in science. It's so deep. And by staying home, preventative measures, PPE, hand washing, social distancing, these things do work. It's amazing to see you not only helping the public, but sticking to your guns and living what you are teaching. Thank you so much to you and Chenda for sharing so much of yourselves. And for the deep belly laughs alone in my car after 12-hour days of tears, sweat, and, this is interesting, and PPE suits that are in fact flammable and will catch on fire if you're tired and lean over a burner on the stove.
Jesus.
It'll catch fire if you're tired. We didn't know what to do. Then we heard we can't cook soup. I was lucky enough to meet you and Chenda in Portland while you were on tour, and it's an experience that will always stay with me. Hope to meet you two again in the post-apocalyptic wasteland of a future that awaits us, Leanna. Well, thank you.
God, I hope to hug you soon. Oh, God.
I just got okay with hugs, and fucking all of a sudden they took them away. I was like, damn.
Right.
Now I have to meet in Portland again. I have it on my calendar for 30:35. The way people are behaving, so that'll come around the corner any second.
Well, do you or don't you think, Keith? Can I ask you? Do you think that all the dummies will just get weeded out? Do you think they'll just die?
They know smart people, so it's always going to end up 50-50. You know.
Let's stop hanging out with dummies.
Yeah, it transfers. Yes, when you see there was a Republican Party over New Year's and Christmas, they had holiday themed parties. They're doing the train where you go around, the stupid old people
Bunny
shit.
hop.
Yeah, they have COVID now. The people at this party, so they're gonna run into a Democrat too. I got a feeling. But you made your point, Kirk Cameron.
Oh God.
Kirk fell from
And
grace.
Scott Baio too, right?
Oh, right.
It's very sad to hear.
No, I know it's your greats. I know you ladies being from, what do we pretend, the 80s? I know these are your three heroes we're mentioning, but it's okay to know that they're shit.
Listen, I'm completely like, you opened my eyes to these motherfuckers. I get it. I am off their train, but in the 80s, those were the dudes. Kirk Cameron, not so much Scott Baio. He's a little bit more adult for me. Like that's.
So what? He was adult for that underage female actress he worked with. That's
and
okay.
I was very uncomfortable knowing that, and that's part of what makes him disgusting now to me. I don't know. That's not. I liked people my age.
Well, that's weird. I just watched Grease yesterday, and I was like, everyone in here is at least 40, and they're all playing high school students. I was like, wow. I never really realized this so much, and then I was like, you might have a child or two.
Right. The one's getting an abortion. You're like, I would think so. You're 50 years old. That might have happened in your life. Jess Wood, how do people?
Yes.
Jess Wood has the podcast. Jess Wood has her comedy. She's got it all. What's the best way to check things out, Jess? Please tell us.
Thank you, Keith. I would love to. I'm actually doing 2 live Instagram shows a week, and one of them, which is the podcast, Tuesdays at 11 Pacific AM and 2 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. I'll be live on Instagram at Get Wood, and I do about a 30-minute show every week where I tell stories. A lot of times will go on a kind of a thematic situation, especially throughout the holidays. I had a big show about New Year's and past New Year's that I've had, involving the Grateful Dead and liquid acid and cholos, and so there's plenty of that.
Please don't say cholos.
Just say it in your white voice, and I love it. So I have Get Wood on Tuesday, and I have What's Good with Jess Wood, where I interview people of color, and I've been doing it since the beginning of quarantine. Actors, artists, comics, writers, brujas. And
that's smart, so people can't give you a hassle. I like it.
Can I ask you, the people of color thing?
Hassle. I started to do it because I felt like no one was getting showcased enough. Like everyone was talking at the beginning of last year, like, why aren't there any, we should have more black people on Saturday Night Live, and there's no black people in the middle of that. They're black. And I was like, well, I'll make a show. And
what is people of color to you? Is it black people?
Anyone not white.
Not white.
Yeah.
Okay. Not Caucasian is what you're saying. Is that what not Caucasian?
Yeah. I mean, anyone who the police would pull over.
Okay.
When you see it. It's like porn, right? They're like porn. I know them when I see it.
I'm saying, like, I've had people who are mixed race, a lot of mixed race people on the show, and they all identify as people of color because they are considered, like Band-Aids are made in a beige color. So that's supposedly the normal.
It would be funny, Jess,
So
if your booker was a big city policeman and he invites the people of color.
Hey, I met her. She was shoplifting. I bought her groceries, and then I got her a spot on your podcast.
Jess, it's always good to see you. Congrats on your new move. Happy birthday again.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, what are you going to do to celebrate?
I got a lot of food from my neighbors. People came and sang to me, and it's been lovely. There's rainbows that flutter about where I sit, and there's trees, and I don't fucking know. I mean, you know what I do? I do all the shit that they fucking tell you to do to keep your head on your shoulders. I write every morning. I meditate. I take tubs. I take walks. I fucking exercise. I make vision boards. I cook. I'm like, what the fuck else? I guess because I had a lifetime of sucking dicks, you're going to have to do something different for a second here. So I'm learning how to be a housewife. So I'm in training I'm looking for my husband, indigenous guy, somewhere in the desert, probably like studies them.
The funniest part is that was the most offensive thing you just said. But
Of
when
course.
the
I
your
tried to at the end, you guys. I'm like, I think I'm very bland. But
wait,
yes.
I just fucking protected that. Okay. Your handle Get Wood.
Yes.
Was your mom proud of that? Like, was she like, yeah, that's the funniest thing? Because it's, Get Wood.
Don't you think? Okay, I think you've asked me a couple things about my mom. Did your mom think that was? Did you have your own person for it? No, everything I did was for her, and that meant that I had to have tattoos by the time I was 16, dyed hair all the time, fucking crazy ass friends that would come over to the hotel room we lived in. Like, she met gang members and was like, "Oh, your name's Spider? Is your mom a hippie too?" Like, no, mom. So, Get Wood, hilarious. Honey, I come from a long line of dick suckers, and my mom loved this joke. I'm my aunt. I go, but I have a long line of dick suckers. I'm not even joking. I'm a Jew, so a lot of times we're like me, like me, like me, and my aunt, a trooper. My mom, missing teeth. That's how much of a soldier she was, and I just found out, and I was very excited to just find out what my family crest is, and it's actually an outline of a woman. Allah! And that's my family crest. It's on a blue blazer somewhere, you guys. I'm really thrilled.
Does that make you annoyed that you're sort of like in her brand that she raised you with? Like, I'm putting sexuality on this and she's happy about it. Like, it's almost like because like Keith's father is like, oh, you should thank me, all this fodder. Like, obviously you're funny because of me, like that kind of thing. Do you get angry at that?
I think I used to. And since I've known you guys, actually, I think things have changed a bit, shifted a bit. I'll say that when I was first telling my story, I was very angry about it. And I was resentful. And I had a lot of anger issues towards where I came from and shame with my story. There's been a lot of exploitation, a lot of abuse. But now I have turned a corner. I think it's because I told so many stories at the Moth. I'm not even joking you. Where in the Moth, I realized I had to shift out of the old Jess, who was the child who was hurt by these stories, and into this new Jess, this woman who knows that now she's a survivor and has amazing stories of survival to tell, filled with characters to offend beyond belief. And so I really do enjoy telling my stories now. I really, really love it. And I sometimes feel badly that I won't say wasted, but really took a lot of time from myself and others by being so angry about it and being so upset at everyone else. Like, I look at people and think, look at them, they seem all happy. Like, okay, what's the matter? you know? And now I find I'm feeling that, and it's fantastic. And I hear it from the feedback from my shows. I get people calling me and telling, or not calling, I'm not 97, but people, they text me or DM me and they say, hey, your show makes me feel so much better. Or, hey, I had a guy call me a couple weeks ago and say, hey, I broke up with a chick because of stuff you were talking about with your own self, standing up for yourself, saying no to people, and worried that maybe they weren't going to like you, but more worried about your own heart, your own feels when you leave that situation. Are you going to sit there and go like, okay, I guess, but really uncomfortable? Or are you going to go, sorry, guys, you know what? I'm good. I'm going to head out. So there's something about the shift that's happened and the positivity that I feel. And I feel like my friend goes, I'd much rather listen to you than Tony Robbins. And I go, are you fucking comparing me to Tony Robbins? And then I was like, wait, that's kind of nice.
I could do that voice. That voice.
But mental health, I mean, let's bookmark it here, guys. I feel like bookending mental health, because the beginning of this interview was mental health, right? The end of this interview is really about mental health. It's about like sitting with the shit that you went through, feeling it. You got to feel it and then letting it go. And lucky for us, we have this amazing fucking outlet where we can say everything we want and get angry about fucking bullshit person in color, and we feel like, we feel better. And then the lovely people that listen and get to hear that and go, oh, I'm not alone in my anger at the purse and the sun.
We'll leave you with these two links, betterhelp.com/KATG and KATG.com/OMAT, OMAT.
Jess, you're the funniest. I always leave here knowing something. Like for example, listen, guys, just have your kids say the Pledge of Allegiance. Mumble it. I mean, look what happened.
Oh, and I'll flash you. I got a new tattoo, my boobie. It's near my
Nice.
boob, and it's a bee, so it's my boobie.
Yeah, but you're being very safe. Good. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon.
Come